What's making headlines in the newspapers now? And we start with The Citizen. All right, Citizen, their lead story this morning. They focus on the 14 billion rand gold rush. And this story goes on to say that Zama mining, worth a 14 billion rand, is the biggest source of illicit gold in Africa, with tons of it being exported to Dubai, according to a new report. They're going into quite a bit of detail on that on page 3. Now, die-hard fans for South Africa, supporters of the 2019 Africa Nations Cup between Ivory Coast and Bafana, a picture of them there at the Al Salam Stadium in Cairo yesterday, where Bafana of course went down to Ivory Coast 1-0. And then Absa's hassles run deep. It was a messy exit, but ex-CEO Maria Ramos cannot be blamed for everything. And also Busi and Musi disagree to agree. The war of words between the DA leader and the public protector over a 500,000 rand donation to Cyril's campaign. Those some of the stories the Citizen delves into this morning. Let's move on to Sowetan, their lead story this morning, and it is underground strike over sex for jobs. We'll also get into the story in a bit further detail later on in the show. About 290 mine workers are staging a week-long sit-in demanding action against an official who's been implicated in a scandal. And this, of course, happening in the Northwest Province at the Lexus mine. So we'll bring you a further update on this situation. Also, bullets fly in Brazen Barra cash in transit heist. Abused women kept in a container shelters. That was a report that was released yesterday. And also, Alex Pupil tells stories of poverty using paintings. That's the front page of the Sowetan. And not forgetting, right at the top there, that picture of Shoma Jozi and her exploits, of course, at the BET Awards, bringing home the big prize. And then moving on to Business Day, Zuma agrees to attend a biased Zondo inquiry. Now, the former president will attend, but lawyers say there's no guarantee that he will testify or answer any questions. Now, former President Jacob Zuma, who has until now refused to answer any specific questions on allegations of state capture during his time in office, has agreed to make himself available to the Commission of Inquiry. He said he would attend the commission in July, even though in a letter from his lawyer, he maintained that the commission was biased against him and that it lacks the requisite impartiality. So that's their lead story. Also another one on the front page there, ANC on the fence on Protector's future. And also on the bottom there, deliver basic services, Astral urges government. And this, of course, South Africa's largest poultry producer, lambasting the government on Monday because of the impact that the lack of service delivery has had on their operations. Right, and then finally, the Star, Bafana suffer first ever defeat to Ivory Coast. Also, South African Reserve Bank dragged into global fraud scandal. And this is with regard to a Swiss-based company which provides security features such as ink to South Africans' currency being embroiled in a wide-ranging corruption probe after the former executive of that company was jailed for 11 and a half years for bribing a Brazilian official. And also a final story there, also an interesting one, trouble for PIC, the evidence leader there called an asset manager to a private meeting, thereby seemingly compromising some of the operations at that commission. So those are the stories making headlines in the newspapers. Up next,